Let's get uncomfortable. If this video is on your For You page, then it's probably for a reason, so listen up. Uncomfortability is key. So real talk, have you noticed how good you've gotten at staying stuck? Not because you don't know how to move, but because you've mastered the art of delay. You lie to yourself so skillfully, it feels like clarity. You call it realignment, but it's avoidance dressed as awareness. Notice how you're processing, you're working on something, you're healing something, but you haven't moved in months or sometimes even years. Let's be honest, you're smart, but you're scared. And this is what happens when genius turns on itself. It paints procrastination as preparation, and it makes stagnation sound so spiritual. It whispers to you, I'm not ready, and you keep listening every time. You've read or listened to all the right words. You highlight the same things like they're new wisdom. You nod at every single post like it was channeled for you. But let's get real here. You don't need more knowing or any more awareness. All you need to do is move, but you haven't. You wrote visions so big, you gave yourself chills, but you couldn't get up in time. You were honest on the paper, but not with your patterns. And here's the scariest part. No one calls you out because you're self-aware. You've got the lingo of inner work on lock, but your actions, they belong to someone who's hiding. You say you're tuning in, but you haven't tuned out of your comfort for months. You confuse silence with wisdom. You name resistance as intuition. You take softness to delay your evolution. And it works, because you're brilliant. You've repacked avoidance so beautifully, even you believe it. But let's cut the story. You're not becoming your higher self. You're dodging the grief of letting go of your familiar self. That future you dream about, it doesn't thrive in your current routine. It doesn't rise with these habits. It doesn't exist in this rhythm. You keep thinking the enemy is fear. It's not. The enemy is the belief, and as long as you're not breaking, you're fine. You were handed a beautifully decorated cage. It looks like healing, it feels like safety, and now it's your comfort zone. Meanwhile, the version of you that was born to lead, to build, to embody, is dying quietly. You don't need another download or epiphany. You need disruption. You need to become someone that scares your current self. Because if you don't act, that delay literally becomes your destiny. And that's how it happens. You reincarnate again, simply because you almost became everything you dreamt of. Almost. And you come back again and again until finally you choose differently. So I'll ask you, is this the life where you actually do it? The antidote to your anxiety is not more clarity, it's action. You need to move in ways that your fear doesn't understand. You need to outgrow your own survival strategies. And if you're new here, I'm Eulalie, and I hope I made you uncomfortable because that was my intention. But if you're still here, then thank yourself because this is where you start, in uncomfortability. Do you want to become what you keep visualizing? That's why I'm here. That's how I can support. So drop a comment with anything from this post that cracked something open. And if you're ready to exit this loop, then come and join the Master Self-Sabotage class that we have this week. That's literally what all this genius is about. You don't have to repeat the same story, but you do have to move. Only you can make that choice, and I'm only here to remind you.